Alright guys, in today's mobility video, we're going to be working on a mobility routine that helps you either get warmed up for any kind of squatting that you need to do, or is just a good general warm-up or mobility time. You can do it any time of the day to help you stay loose and mobile in your hips and your ankles and be able to get in an improved squat position. So whenever you start this out, first I'll always encourage you to be barefoot because this really helps you get more sensory information from your feet to your head. It gives you more feedback on how is my squat today. And day to day can change for people depending on what's been going on. So what I like to do is you kind of get into a shoulder width stance here, and you're not trying to do too much, you're just trying to get in this position and just see how you feel, And so I'll get a little bit of a side angle here for you. And so, when you get in this position, you want to be just kind of observing, It's okay if you let your back round a little bit. It's okay if you let your shoulders come down a little bit. It's okay to just kind of rock back and forth. You want to spend a little bit of time here just seeing like, okay, how does my body feel today? I'm going to push my knees out a little bit. I'm like, okay, am I feeling tight there? Like right now, I'm feeling a little bit of stiffness in my left ankle. I'm feeling a little bit of stiffness even in my toes from some squatting I've done. I'm feeling a little bit of stiffness in my lower back from some snatches I just did yesterday. And so, the goal here is you want to be able to be in an active position and act like maybe you're playing volleyball. You want to be in an active position where you can sit in a squat seemingly for days. But right now, we're just getting some sensory information for how we're doing it. Okay? After you get a little feel there, you can see what you need to focus on. But we're going to move into kind of a low lunge here. Okay? So I'm going to get one foot out, making sure my shin is straight up and down. I'm going to brace myself with my hands here. Okay? And I'm just going to focus on pushing my hips forward and down. Okay? So I need to activate my glute to do that. If you reach back and you touch this and it's not tight, then you're not activating your glute. Okay? This is your glute. You got to get that tight to really be pushing your hip down. This is going to lengthen your hip flexors and even your psoas that crosses through your pelvis and connects in your spine. So loosening this up is going to be super important for getting a good squat position. Okay? And feel free to move around. You don't have to stay static in this, man. Just kind of play around with this and see what you like. Okay? See if there's a spot, say right here. I'm feeling this a little bit right here today. I'm going to lean to my left a little bit. And man, I'm really feeling that here today. My core's all the way up in here. I can add a little bit of a twist to this. Get a little bit different angle. Okay? There's no right or wrong movement in this. Maybe you're kind of hanging out in this position. Keep moving. This movement's going to help. You can grab your foot and kind of lean here, pushing on this knee here to try to get some movement in your groin and your adductors on the inside of your thigh. See how this feels. Okay? Now, once I've done this for a little bit, I'm going to kind of lean back here. And as much as you can, you're going to brace yourself with your fingers a little bit here, but allow your foot to point, your toes to point forward, and you're just going to kind of rock a little bit here. Okay? What this is doing, this is kind of loosening up this hamstring. Okay? If you feel like there's a big tinge down your leg here, then that's a little bit too much. You're getting some nerves firing there, so don't feel like you have to go to the point of pain. Just get a little bit of touches here, get a little bit of stretch. Okay. Now I'm going to come back on this foot, I'm going to lean into this. I'm even going to brace myself here. So I'm reaching through this stance, bring this hand out in front. I'm going to allow my toes to come up here. And what this is going to do is this is allowing me to get a little bit better relationship with my ankle here. I want my knee to be aligned with my ankle and my foot. Okay, and I'm sinking down as low as I can. I'm feeling a massive stretch on my inner thigh right now. This is going to help me sink into that squat and not have my adductors limiting my ability to squat. This is feeling really good. This really allows me to get deep into that squat, maybe better than I was at the very beginning here. And do your best to try to keep your toes pointed forward in this. You want to keep as much of a forward toe relationship Because naturally in our weightlifting squat, we might point our toes out a little bit, but the better your forward toe pointed squat is, the better your overall squat mobility is going to be. Okay. Now to work through that, now I'm going to switch to the other side. And again, I'm using my hands here. You don't have to come all the way down here unless you want to, because I like doing this because I can focus more on engaging that glute and I'm able to move around a little bit easier, change my angle. You might be starting to feel pretty warm with this. This is great to start before you do any more dynamic exercises to get yourself ready and warmed up. I like doing this to sort of prepare for a squat because you don't want your hips to be the limiter in your squat. And this is just great to work through as a normal mobility routine. So you work through this just a couple of minutes on each side. Okay, just moving through that. I mean, this is starting to feel really good for me right now. Oh man, I'm gonna be ready to squat after this. I'm ready to hit the weights. Okay, if you feel pain at any time through this, then change your range of motion. Don't feel like you have to go to the point of pain. Working through this. Okay, now you can able to kind of rock back and forth. Now let's see how we feel at the end of this. Feeling a major improvement in my ability to sit down in the squat. I'm hanging out in there. See, my toes are being pointed forward. I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm not just caving forward as easy. So this is a quick squat mobility routine just to help you get better and better at your squats.